I have a question for you about a certain incident which, alas, I did not witness. Sad to say, I wasn't there that day. In case you did not know, here in this city there is a public transportation light rail system, not unlike the subway trains in Chicago or New York City. And within the system of this light rail, there is a length of tracks which extends between 82nd Avenue and 60th Avenue. 22 blocks make up this stretch of the train line. It runs right alongside the freeway. Passengers who are driving their car in the rush hour commute can see the train shooting past, and passengers aboard the train, of course, can see all of the cars going by. The routine is typical. On average, the train pulls into 82nd, the doors open, passengers disembark, new passengers come on board, and then an automated voice announces that the doors are closing. Not unlike that computer voice on Star Trek. After the first few years, you can hear that in your sleep. Indeed, the doors do close, and the train heads off to the next stop, in this case, 60th Avenue. Now, sometimes if the operator is running behind schedule along that stretch of tracks, they'll make up for lost time by highballing it, putting the pedal to the metal and going as fast as they can, and then getting to the next station and slowing down. Everything perfect, everything balanced, but with a tremendous peak of acceleration along the way. Now, they don't do that often, but 60, 70, maybe even 80 miles per hour. They are called light rail after all. I don't know how fast they can go. I just know that when they need to, they can be like a bottle rocket. On one afternoon a few years ago, just as on an average day, as per business as usual, the train pulled into 82nd. Passengers got off, new passengers got on. The automated voice announced the doors are closing, and then, just before the operator accelerated, the doors didn't close. And for those 22 blocks, on one of those days on which the operator just happened to need to highball it, that train went pell-mell along those tracks, and those two cars were turned into a veritable wind tunnel. The passengers were dichotomized, two groups. The first group grabbed onto the handrails and the overhead straps. They hung on for dear life, screaming and weeping and wailing, possibly even saying their prayers. The other group leapt out of their seats, went up to the doors. Some of them were even hanging out along the sides, waving and screaming and whooping and hollering. Imagine what all of the rush hour commuters thought driving along and seeing all of those passengers hanging out the side of that train, not unlike a bunch of rail riding punks who have just hopped the southward bound freight train, catching it on the fly. Now, again, 22 blocks later, the operator de-accelerated and came to a hurtling, careening halt in 60th Avenue, business as usual, as I say. And this brief thrill ride, one that lasted mere seconds, I have no doubt, came to an end. The aforementioned question, boys and girls, punks and skins, daredevils or otherwise, is this: what would you have done had you found yourself, had you been lucky enough to find yourselves in such a situation? Would you have hung on for dear life, saying your last words, your last prayers? Or would you have jumped up, grabbed onto those doors, and enjoyed the moment, screeching, "You only live once," yelling, "It's time to live fast and die hard," and proclaiming for all the world to hear that you were ready to go out in a blaze of glory? In other words, would you have taken a lesson from Slim Pickens?